Despite the rough loss in game number 2, where the Warriors were never able to claw back from a first quarter deficit, there were some bright spots. Among them was Jonathan Kuminga, who finally found his offensive rhythm. He easily identified mismatches and found his spots inside the arc. He was swift and decisive in transition and looked more comfortable within the flow of the offense. With Steph Curry slated to be out in Game 3 as well, is Kuminga ready for a signature performance? Let's review. Last night, Kuminga found a lot of success going to one of his shots that has at times been unreliable. Here, he backs down Ant into the paint, then is able to get to this turnaround fadeaway that we know he likes to shoot, but he's largely been inconsistent. He had a decent stretch at the end of last year, but it hasn't quite been there this year. Here, the Warriors are running action. Kuminga's spaced out on the weak side. As Pods is able to make this kick, something that we liked to see last night was how Kuminga attacks these closeouts. As Naz Reid closes out, Kuminga is immediately attacking him on the planted foot and then is able to again get to his spot with that step back as Naz Reid goes this way. Super nice to see him hitting these shots, but more importantly, it will help him establish a rhythm in Game 3. Here, TJD setting this pin down for Kuminga to curl around. Of course, he doesn't always get the respect from the defense as Rudy is going to stay planted in the paint. And then Kuminga's just going to come, stop, and jump shoot this as he ends up getting it to go in. It's super nice to see that Kuminga's finding more comfort in these shots and is making some of them. Kuminga also did a good job last night identifying mismatches and also cutting at opportune times. He burns Rudy Gobert here on a really nice set of footwork as he first is going to square up with him in the corner and then is going to drive that baseline. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is how Kuminga uses his arm and outside step to get inside positioning on the basket on Rudy Gobert, which allows him to easily put this shot up. Kuminga has that athleticism within him and has consistently been able to beat slower-footed bigs in the past, especially in those types of situations. It just requires a bit more space and faster identification, which Kuminga did a good job of last night. Here, we've known that Dre likes to throw these passes to the inside whenever Jimmy Butler has a mismatch. Here, Jonathan Kuminga has one on Dante DiVincenzo, and Draymond's just going to lob this inside as Kuminga is able to leap up and actually get fouled. Super nice to see last night that Kuminga was faster at identifying mismatches and was more willing to punish them, even if that meant going to the foul line. One of the ways the Warriors love to use athletic guys like Kuminga and GP2 and sometimes Jimmy is off the sideline out of bounds action. So here, Kuminga was the inbounder and the ball is going to find its way to Draymond at the top. Pay attention to what Buddy is doing. As he sets this back screen for Kuminga, he's going to draw the attention of both Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid. And because of this, Kuminga just has a wide open cut to the basket that obviously Draymond is going to thread to him pretty much instantly. That's the advantage of having deadly shooters like Buddy. Obviously, Steph usually gets that treatment, but in this case, it's Buddy Hield. Here, let's watch this play from the first game that we covered in our other film reviews, where it's again Buddy coming to set this back screen, which gets the attention of Julius Randle and Mike Conley, which frees up Jimmy Butler to make a cut to the basket, and then Draymond's able to make that easy delivery. Now, if we want to go back to looking at these just side by side, you can see that it's the exact same action, the exact same sideline out of bounds, with Buddy setting the back screen, drawing two, and then Kuminga or Jimmy Butler making that cut off of that initial back screen. Now, the Warriors can find consistent offense like this with Buddy, obviously with Steph as well, and I think that's an area where Jonathan Kuminga can excel more than Jimmy Butler and more than GP2, in the sense that when the Warriors are running set offense like that, Kuminga's speed becomes an advantage because then it's not about anticipation, it's not about making a read, it's just about cutting as soon as Buddy sets that back screen. Now I want to end by highlighting how Kuminga was able to attack in transition last night, as he was consistently running the floor, identifying mismatches or defenders who weren't set, and then punishing them as a result. Here, this is a great situation where Kuminga is able to identify that Julius Randle is late, Gobert is a step behind, and that he just has a wide open baseline drive to make this easy dunk. Kuminga is definitely going to be able to consistently find that type of shot in early offense, as here again, he's in semi-transition, the Wolves aren't fully set, and then you have a late Naz Reid who's not able to beat Kuminga to his spot, and then just ends up fouling him. It's super nice when Kuminga is able to use that athleticism and speed to his advantage, rather than letting it be a detriment because it's forcing him to read and react quicker than he's able to process. So after all that, do I think Jonathan Kuminga is going to be able to give the Warriors the offensive output to win them a game or two while Steph is out? Well, I'm not really sure. I think that if Kuminga does end up becoming an issue, there's a decent chance that the Wolves try loading up early, showing early help, packing the paint, especially with the lack of three-point shooting and other offensive output last night. But I do think that Kuminga finding his rhythm will help in that it gives Steve Kerr yet another lever to pull, especially as a partner with Steph and Buddy in ball screens and rolling downhill. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you agree.